Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. It means so much to me that you enjoy my content so much to return. And if you happen to stumble upon this video and you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead subscribe. I'd love to have you join a part of my little family, which is a big little mix of things, but it's still my family nonetheless. But today I'm going to be bringing you guys my 2021 year-long project pan. Now I used to do whatever the number, like the last two digits were how many products I would focus on in that year. I don't have that many products in my collection anymore. So last year, and what I'm continuing doing this year, is I'm going to work on 10 specific products continuously throughout the year. Some of them until they are finished, and others until the next following month is how I decided to do it for this year. I have 7 products specifically I want to use up until they're gone, and then I have 3 products I'm going to be rotating through every month, and those products focus more on like cheek products and lip products that, due to the current situation of the world, a global pandemic, there's no point in really wearing so much of that because it does get covered up and it does get rubbed off. So in my eyes, there's no point in trying to work on them until they're gone because it's just not going to happen based on my makeup preference and my makeup style. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into all of the products and kind of share with you my reasonings as to why I want to use them up. So I always, how many times can I say always, work on a palette, just because, you know, eyeshadow collections can get out of hand, and while I don't have the most eyeshadows, I definitely want to work on this one. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. This is a beautiful palette, there's nothing wrong with it. I've just had it for a while and I know that the quality of the shadows deteriorate over time. I don't know why I couldn't say that. So I definitely want to focus on using this up because I have had this palette for a while now. I have used up a shade completely, and that is Tempera. I used to use it on just to set underneath my eyebrows. I am using other eyeshadows to serve that purpose because I don't have any eyeshadows in this collection that kind of serve the purpose of that. And what I also plan on doing, because I know, I'm just gonna let it fly, whatever, because I know Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows go a little bit faster, I'm going to you know, eventually grabbing into my other things and focusing on that as I end up using a lot of things. And yeah, I'm excited to use it just because I feel like I've never given myself an easy palette to do, and based on what I've seen other people pan this, it goes pretty fast. There are some colors that I just am not going to use and not going to force myself to use up specifically. For example, I'm never going to finish a black eyeshadow. I don't touch black eyeshadow ever, really. Probably won't finish like these darker shades. I might be able to hit pan, I don't know, but it's not my goal to really finish them. But you know, I can say for all the lighter browns and all like the shimmers, maybe not sultry, but definitely all the other ones I can see myself trying to use up. So that is going to be the first item in my project pan. This next item is more of like a setting spray or finishing spray. This is the Mario Badescu Aloe Herbs and Rose Water Facial Setting Spray. I am to about right there. I used to use this as my skincare, and then everyone was like, don't use Mario Badescu because of the fragrance. So I just use it to take like the powderiness off of my face after I'm done with my makeup, or I'll use it to wet my sponge, or I'll use it for like foiling, but I don't use it like on a bare face anymore. I use a different spray for that isn't necessarily going to dry your face out. I mean, does doing this over everything still dry your face out? Maybe, but maybe not as much. So I just want to get this out of my collection. It sits right next to my makeup storage situation, and I have too many things on my desk because that's where I keep my makeup. And so I just want to see this gone. It'll clear up one more thing on there, which I am full to the brim of things with everything. Don't know how I got to that situation, but I just have way too much stuff but also like it's good stuff that can be used up, so there's no like, I'm not gonna give it away because I spent my money on it and I want to get my money's worth out of things, but it's just like too much clutter. So I just want to work on something to get it out of my collection, and that's that one. This is a repeat if you were a follower of last year's project pan, but I really just want to focus on using up the La Vanilla perfume. So I have used halfway. I erased all of the lines of this one and I put one thick line as to where I am. And this is a nice winter fragrance. I need to put it on today actually, and I just kind of roll it on and roll it on, and I still smell it even through the mask. It's kind of faint, so if someone gets close to me like at work, at least they'll smell good. And I just have way too many perfumes right now, and I have other warmer perfumes I prefer using over this, but if you are into vanillas, this is a really good one of just like pure vanilla. It's more on the affordable side, because I know there's not that many just pure vanilla perfumes out there. This is my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. It is the oldest concealer in my collection. This has been a staple since the launch of the Maybelline Fit Me range for me, especially in my pre-acne days, and I've forgotten it doesn't provide like the most coverage, and I think that's why I haven't been using it so much, because I like to put it on my problem areas right here, and because that gets covered up by the mask, I just use like a concealer that has a little bit more staying power over this. But I still love this concealer nonetheless. However, it has been open for a while, so it does need to get used up. I'm about 3/4 of the way, or like I have 3/4 of the product left, so I just want to use it up. It's always a staple in my collection. I can even put it underneath my eyes and around my face, and it's not too drying. It's a very moisturizing concealer, and it might be a little bit more forgiving on my dry skin right now in winter in the desert, so in my project to use. This was also in last year's project pan. This is the Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay. It is not my, I don't really like this foundation. I have to do a lot to it to make it look nice on my skin, so I just want to work on it to get it out of my collection. Usually I use it on filming days when I'm not going to work. I don't really like wearing foundation when I'm going to work, because then it just all comes off on my mask, and that's not cute. So I am up to here. I still have the lines from last year's project. I haven't tried rubbing them off, but I'll probably try. It is up to here. It is like 1/3 of the way done, so I have about 2/3, and I think I can finish this up in a whole year. You know, hopefully things get better and we eventually one day in 2021 don't have to wear masks because herd immunity, but until then I'm probably just gonna use this for YouTube, or I don't know, if I get together with someone at a home that I trust and don't have to wear a mask and I want a little bit something more, then I'll use it. But I think at that rate it would probably take me all year, unless something changes, of course. I also have an eyebrow product. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow. I love this. The only reason why I want to focus on using it up is because I like to switch around my brow products, but because it's been open for a while and I have had it for a while, it's starting to dry out, and I love this. I love using this especially like on the outer portion of my brows, because that's where I have like the most unevenness, and this does a good job on making sure that like my scar is covered and it stays on for a lot longer of a period of time. I don't know if that made any sense, because this is like my second video I filmed, so usually my brain power is not as like there. So I definitely think I can use this up in the year, and I want to use it up before it completely dries out. This is definitely worth the money. I've gotten my money's worth out of it, but I just want to see myself use it up and feel accomplished. Now the last product I have in here for specifically using up is something I added at the end of last year's project pan, and this is the Makeup Forever Super Matte Loose Setting Powder. There is not much left, but a little goes a long way with loose setting powder, so I'm basically where this last line is. So I just want to use it up. I have a lot of setting powders. I don't know where they come from, and having one less, again, will make my collection a lot less cluttered and a lot less cluttered. So that is the last item that I'm using up. Now, for my rotation products, I technically have 2, but it's 3, and that's basically highlight, bronzer, and blush. Because again, they're not products that I'm going to be using a lot of. Sometimes I don't even put them on. So I'm just focusing on these items for the month of January for them to get some use, instead of having the one item that I'm trying to use and everything else doesn't get used, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure it does make sense. So the first item is the MAC Sculpt and Shape powder. So it is a highlight and kind of like a contour powder. I don't really need bronzer right now because I'm as pale as can be, so I think a contour is going to be a little bit better. And so this is, I think it's like in Emphasize and then Bone Beige. It is a nice light highlight. Sometimes you get a little bit of shimmer, sometimes you don't, but I think it would be good for my complexion right now and for the rest of January. So highlight and contour bronzer. And then I have a blush just to add a little bit of like glow onto my cheeks. This is the Cargo, the water resistant blush in Bali, and it's just a nice glowy pink blush. I've had this for a long time, and I've actually used a smaller size of it, and it is a beautiful blush. It's what I have on right now. It adds some glow if you're a little bit too matte, and it gives me a break from like the ambient powders from Hourglass, which is what I basically used all of 2020. So it'll be nice to switch it up, and then, you know, in February I can focus on a different one. This doesn't mean that I'm only gonna stick to this, but these are gonna be the ones that I use most of the time when I need to use these type of products. But those are the 10 items that I'm focusing on, not just for 2021, but of course even for this month. And we'll see where we're at next month. So let me know if you guys are doing a year-long project pan. Those are my favorite to watch, especially at the beginning of the year, because that's like when we're all starting from like point 0, regardless of where you are in your product, and it just gets more exciting and more encouraging as you go along. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys are doing one as well, so I can go check it out. But I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys all later. Bye!